There we go. All right. Welcome, everybody, to our Washington, D.C. Tableau User Group February 2023 meeting. We have two awesome presentations today. Really excited to introduce those. But before we do that, I just want to go over just some quick welcome statements here. So here's our agenda. We're going to go over just a few things about Tableau conference, some upcoming meetings, and then we'll get into our presentations, and then we will wrap it all up. So hopefully close to 2 o'clock, trying to keep it within an hour for those taking their break. Your DC Tug leaders, myself, Tina Cavelli, and Cesar Pico, all on the call. I think we've had the pleasure of meeting most of you or some of you at other events that we've done, but if you're ever interested in presenting or just want to connect with us, feel free to reach out to the three of us. We all talk daily and are working together to run the DC Tug together. So connect with us on LinkedIn or Twitter, or if you would like to connect via email, happy to share that as well. You can also connect with us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Tableau on their user group page. On Twitter, we're DC Tug. There is a new LinkedIn group called Washington, D.C. Tableau User Group. You can join that to get updates, meeting information, and then all the same information is on the usergroup.tableau.com/Washington, D.C. page. So you can subscribe there just to stay in touch with all of us and get notified when new events are posted. Thanks to everyone who joined us for our DMV area networking event back in January. It was a great turnout. It was a combined user group for all the DC, Maryland, and Virginia Tug. So DC Tug, Baltimore Tug, the Nova Tug, and the Veterans Tug. It was great to get everybody together just to kind of get back on track with our user group meetings and see everybody in person. So looking to do more in-person events and probably more joint events in the future. So here's our 2023 meeting schedule as of now. This might change, but these are the dates that we're shooting for. So at least one in-person meeting per quarter and one virtual meeting per quarter. So these are the dates that we have right now. Nothing is up on the user group page to register for any of these yet, but these are the dates just to kind of keep in mind. So our virtual events will typically be around lunchtime between 12 and 1 or 1 and 2. And our in-person events will usually be during the week and in the evening, so people can join after hours for happy hour and meeting others in the DC area. So more to come on those meetings. If you're interested in presenting or hosting an event, please let us know. Always looking for in-person people to host or present. If you're doing something cool with Tableau that you want to share with others in the community, feel free to reach out to Cesar, Tina, or I. If you would like to present at a future Tug, or if you have interest in someone that you've seen in the community and you would like them to present, let us know. We're always happy to reach out to them and bring them in to present. So whether you'd like to host or present, feel free to reach out to one of us and let us know.
On the topic of tugs, too, a quick shout out to the Veterans Tug is tonight, also at 5:30 Eastern time. So definitely that's happening tonight. So quick shout out to the Veterans Tug.
Thank you, Cesar. Quick announcement from Tableau. There is the Salesforce World Tour coming to DC. They're looking for trailblazers to lead 20-minute community campfire sessions, particularly interested in sessions geared towards admin, architect, and developer communities. So if you're interested in that, there is a form that you can fill out to express your interest in leading those sessions. I'm going to drop it in the chat. And then here is the other link. If you are interested in just learning more about the Salesforce World Tour and would like to register for that when it comes to DC. So here are those two links. If you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to us and we can get those answered for you. And then finally, we have Tableau Conference 2023. It's going to be in Las Vegas from May 9th to the 11th. Registration is now open for that. I think most of us here presenting today might be attending. I know I'm going. I think we will find out later who else is going. And here is the link to that in the chat if you would like to learn more information about Tableau conference and all the sessions that will be available.
I think early bird pricing is good through now until the end of the month, I think.
Yes,
so definitely get those discounts. So yes. Yeah.
All right. I think that is just the few things I wanted to go through to start. So our first presentation today is going to be on SuperKPIs. So we're going to talk about KPIs in no time. Our presenters are Klaus Schulte. He's a professor at Munster School of Business. You can connect with him on Twitter. And Merlin Buit. I think I got those pronunciations right. So you can correct me if I'm wrong. Merlin's the CTO and founder of InfoTopics, AppsForTableau, and they have some pretty cool things that they're going to share with us. So I will turn it over to them.
Really exciting. I'm excited to see more. Here we go.
Well done, Eric.
Threw it into Google Translate so I could.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes.
Yes, great.
Coming through.
All right.
Got it.
So thank you for the introduction. Super excited to show you today some of the things Klaus and I have been working on, and also some other extension things we are working on. Today we'll be focused on super KPIs. And before we start, I just want to ask a question through a poll, because I'm really curious who's going to Tableau conference this year and who we can see in person. So let's quickly do a poll. Ooh, interesting. Maybe is winning at the moment. All right, cool. Okay, some yes, some no's, a lot of maybe. All right, maybe I can convince you to go this year. So yeah, the picture you see below is 2017, which is already was a great show. Also where the extensions API was announced. All right, but before we start, I'm Merlin. I'm a 4-year Tableau visionary, and I'm also the founder of AppsForTableau, which is a platform where we create and build beautiful products which make impact with data. Like write-back extensions, powerful visualizations, like Show Me More with Sankey diagrams, but also all kinds of other self-service analytic extensions. At the moment, almost 500 customers over the whole world and 15 products and counting. And I just want to show a few of them very, very shortly, and then we head over to super KPIs. And there's also quite some interesting things for the community in here, so keep attention. First thing, one of the most popular extensions at the moment is our write-back extreme extension, where you can write data back to any database you like, straight into your dashboard. So for example, if you want to do a forecasting change, you want to do a Excel-like grid where you can just change anything you like in Tableau, or you want to add a collaboration data point and send an email to someone when you mention him, for example, that's something you can do with write-back. So an amazing extension you can use and add to your dashboard to create thousands of new use cases with your dashboards. Something else also very popular is super tables. It's an extension. Basically, it's a table. Well, who doesn't like a table? Probably everyone likes a table, but it's a table with superpowers where you can easily sort, inline filter. You can group on columns by just dragging them on the group column, and it will automatically aggregate. You can create different layouts for different users. You can collapse columns, pivot even, and you can also export to Excel. We don't want that, but you can do that. So great extension. You should definitely check it out. It's also in the Tableau Exchange, just like this one. And this one launched last December. It's for free in the Exchange as well. It's a hierarchy filter. This one I made together with Russ. It's a Tableau employee, and it was requested on the Tableau ideas section 11 years ago, and it already had 3,000 points. So a lot of people are looking for this type of functionality in Tableau. So we made it happen. Basically, it's a combined filter of multiple Tableau filters into one filter you can use. So you can drag, you can navigate through the whole hierarchy basically you define. So if you want to have a hierarchy with, for example, countries, states, provinces, cities, something like that, you can do that very easily. But you can also have a hierarchy of, for example, your whole organization with people, and then just have one filter in your dashboard, which is easy navigatable. So this one is for free as well. You can try it out. It's in the Exchange, the Tableau Exchange, which is right here. So if you go to the Tableau Exchange, either through your Tableau dashboard, you can drag an extension in and then you get a pop-up, which looks similar to this one, or you go to exchange.tableau.com and then you find this page. Here are all kinds of great extensions you can find, but also Tableau accelerators or connectors. But as you can see, hierarchy filters at the top, and you can also see TabCSS is right there, which we will hear more about in a second by Rody. And yeah, so this is the place to go to if you want to check out those extensions, like I just mentioned. And there's also a different product, which is this. Yeah, what is the product, you would say? But this is not an image of a Tableau dashboard. This is actually a live Tableau dashboard in my presentation. So I can just, oh, is it not working in full time? Oh, it's because of the sharing the screen. Oh, anyway, here it goes. Yes. So as you can see, I'm presenting, and this is PowerPoint. But I can also interact with a Tableau dashboard like this chess game built with an extension. And as you can see, this is live in PowerPoint. And if you want to do this yourself with any of the dashboards you have, so for example, you want to do a presentation for the leaderboard or anything else, you can grab this extension from the add-in store of PowerPoint. So let's go to the next sheet right here. So if you open your PowerPoint and you go to My Add-ins right here, you get a pop-up, which is this one, and you can search for Fish Slides. And then you can just add this integration to your PowerPoint. It asks you for the URL of your dashboard. You paste the URL in and you get a fully functional Tableau dashboard in your PowerPoint. How cool is that, right? So anyone from the community who wants to do this, you can do it right now. A little great functionality I want to mention is that you can also filter, and then you can save the filters right here. And the next time you open up your PowerPoint, it will remember those filters and just filter your dashboard to the latest state. So you can also have, for example, a view on, for example, different state, or you can highlight something else, and it will all be stored in this settings here. So quite fun. All right. If you want to try any of these products, you can go to our website, AppsForTableau.com, and there's a button try for free, and you can try all those extensions fully for free. And then we head over to our main topic, which is, of course, a collaboration between a legend, Klaus, and me, just a normal guy. And yeah, I'm really excited to show you this product we've been working on together. But before I start, maybe Klaus, you can give yourself a little introduction.
Yeah, hi everyone, and thanks Eric, Cesar, and Tina for having us. I'm Klaus, I'm from Germany. Yeah, and I've been collaborating with Merlin for some years now. We found out when we were chosen as a Zen Master in 2019 that we actually live quite close to each other. And that was the time when our first collaboration was born. And yeah, we've been doing stuff since then. And we're really happy to show you something about SuperKPIs today here. And yeah, I will take over with a demo once Merlin introduced the project a little bit.
Yes, all right. So a little history on Klaus and me. Here we were still young people.
I was still young. I was still young.
Me too. Yeah, so Klaus and I met back in 2019 already, and we also met. We went to several customers together to do little Zen Master shows, they were called, to inspire people about Tableau. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. We also made a game in Tableau, of course, which is the Data Village Online. And we presented it at the Tableau Conference Europe during a presentation, and people were joining a Tableau dashboard and walking around live in a dashboard in a virtual data village where they could chat with each other, and they could go to a little disco area. They could change the music, and everyone heard the same music. So great project where Klaus and I were touching the borders of Tableau's capabilities. But yeah, then something else came, because Klaus had an idea, and he came to us and said, well, maybe we could do something together on this topic, because I think I have a great solution for how we could do KPIs in Tableau really well. And we had a customer at that moment who also wanted this. So we decided to put our energy together and our efforts and see what we could come up with. So the first thing we did was, is of course, put a LinkedIn message out and say, okay, look what we have right here. What do you think of it? And as you can see, I was winning here almost 300 likes, and Klaus had 40 likes, as you can see. Oh, wait, there's a number missing. 406, Klaus won the match. Yeah, I don't know what we did. I think I had to pay Klaus a crate of beer or something.
You haven't yet.
Anyway,
You haven't yet.
I still haven't. Oh, oops. So yeah, I'm excited to show you the trailer of the result of our collaborated project. Well, I'm excited about that video. I don't know if you are as well, but yeah, we built a template, basically a very smart template where you can create KPI cards with very easily in Tableau with native Tableau functionality, and it has over 250 different designs. You can connect with any data source you like and create those cards very easily. And as I also mentioned in the video, development time building those little cards reduces by 90%, but also the maintenance in the future reduces a lot. So you can make more consistent layouts across all of your dashboards and all of your workbooks. And yeah, have a great dashboard basically. Some things like slicing and dicing is also supported, as you can see in the little GIF jumping around. So if you filter on something, you can slice it, for example, on region, and then it will split out into several KPI cards. Beautiful product. And Klaus, maybe you can give them a demo, show them how it's working.
Yeah, I will do that, of course. And so maybe a few words before I start with the demo. The idea was basically to take away that building process of a KPI card from the dashboard onto the sheet level. And therefore, we defined the different components of such a KPI card, like the background or the tile, maybe, the measure name, the big numbers, the comparison values, any kind of icon. We defined the positioning of these elements beforehand, and therefore made it super easy and flexible to select from these different variations and also to encode data into these objects. Yeah, and let's go maybe right into the demo, and therefore I have to take over. I can overrule Merlin, yes. And let's go here. Okay, so this is what our KPI cards look like, and like I just said, we have the different elements that make such a tile. We defined them beforehand. And our templates come with a data source that holds all the layout data, and the different variants or designs that Merlin just mentioned are here on the left side. So for example, we defined different grid types. In this type, we have some space between the cards. When I change that to this one, we can get rid of that space. Or if I want to do anything responsive, for example, create a mobile view, I select that responsive grid type. We even defined some rounded corners. I hope you can see it. When I do that setting, we get nicely rounded corners on the background. Or we could put that measure name above this grayish area instead of in that area. We could do that little indicator area here at the top. And you might have already noticed whenever I change something, the variant number changes as well. So right now I'm at variant 51-1. Maybe let's include some nice icon for indicating the change between two periods. That is 49-1. And maybe I want to see that chart not at the top, but at the bottom. And here I'm at version or at variant 49-2. Yeah, so like this, we have defined everything beforehand. And yeah, choosing a variant is basically just selecting or changing a parameter. So for example, we just defined 49-2 as our variant, and here we are. Then we took care about all the calculations, period calculations, for example, are all predefined. And to connect the template to your data, you just can add another connection. I will go with Superstore here, bring that in, and bring in that orders table. Then we define a relationship between the two, just as 1 equals 1 or any other calculation like that. And like this, we get the data here from Superstore or any other data you need. Then we have temporary data in the templates. And all you need to do now is to just replace references from the temp data to your actual data. Like, for example, the sample data, I want to replace that one with the order date. And on the first card, I want to see sales. On the second card, I want to see profit. And on the fourth card, I want to see quantity. I know these are the 4 KPIs we have in Superstore. So I'm leveraging 4 of the 12 predefined cards here, and I just can get rid of the others. So let's put that card ID on filter, and let's keep only these 4. Yeah, like that, we have already defined the cards, basically. Maybe I'll want to see a profit at the beginning, not at the second. So I could, for example, just sort these. Let's do a manual sort and bring that at the first position. Okay, so we have profit first, then sales and discount, and we want to go like that. So that's good. Then maybe let's do some slicing and dicing. I want to break these cards down to customer segments. And just like that, I'm very fast and can very easily create these cards. Yeah? Imagine doing this on a dashboard. You would need like 4 or 5 objects for each of the cards, and that would just be a nightmare. Then you could add other features, like, for example, a nice tooltip, a Visin tooltip. So here we predefined the Visin tooltip just by card. And I want to break that further down to segment and region. Yeah, and then let's try to bring that to the tooltip. So we have a tooltip icon here. Let's add here the filter. So we have to filter also on segment. That, and hopefully that will do the trick. And we have a visit tooltip breaking down the segment to further regions. Yeah, so very flexible, very quick, yeah, we get a nice looking KPI card. So this is our basic template that we ship. So you get a template you can easily connect your data to, and then use it like I've just shown, and get your KPI dashboard, or combine it with other visualizations on a dashboard. What we're also working on is different solutions. So we learned last year a lot from our customers. So how do they use SuperKPIs? For example, in this one, a customer, let me bring that bar to the site, has combined SuperKPIs with a nice navigation. And what we're doing here is to define different scenarios. So for example, in this scenario, we have different KPIs for different platforms in this case. So for example, Facebook has a little bit different KPIs than Google, and Twitter again has also some different KPI cards, and that shows the flexibility of this concept. Yeah, the cards always rearrange, and you get the right KPI cards without doing anything. Yeah. So in this scenario, yeah, we have a dynamic set of KPIs. All KPIs are pre-calculated, so you would need full control over the data source. We don't see any aggregations here in the workbook, and everything is set up to just fit this scenario. We also include a view on how the data should look like when you want to take this solution, and we have other solutions for other scenarios as well. Yeah. And then when someone wants to take this scenario, we disconnect the data from the template and just ship the pure template where people then can connect their data to and do the adjustments needed to get that view. Yeah, and let's do that again together. So this is my demo 2. Let's look into the data model or the data source page. We're connected here to our KPI mini charts table, and I already added a secondary table with some KPIs. And yeah, using the template again is as easy as taking the temp data and replacing the references to the data that you prepared. Yeah, in this case, instead of the KPI temp data, I want to use that KPI field in my data source. The navigation at the top, I want to use that with category. Then there is a field defined also as period name. And there should also be a date field, and I think I called it week. Yes, that's week. And we have some values for the current week, for the current week of the prior year. And there is also a variance year over year. Yeah, so again, it's just as easy as that. Take the scenario, define your data in the exact same way, or take the fitting scenario to your data, connect it and replace references like that. Yeah, now you might want to change a little bit. We could do some, maybe some changing of the design. Maybe we don't want to see these colored tiles here, and instead use this indicator if something is above or below prior year on the background. Let's do that, and we get some nice colored background cards. We could also do that for charts itself. So instead of category on chart, let's put this color on chart. Yeah, so everything is data driven, and therefore we can use everything like we are used to use these things in Tableau, and this way get a nice dashboard and still use the functionalities, the navigation functionalities predefined in our solution. Yeah, that's basically it. So super easy to use. I think this will save lots of time, or is saving lots of time in development processes. It's easy to maintain when you get in new KPIs. The dashboard will automatically update. You don't have to adjust dashboards. Yeah, and just like that, be quite flexible with this solution. Okay, Merlin, do you have anything to add?
Great demo, Klaus. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, we are quite interested in your opinion on this. So if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. If you want to play with the product, also let us know. We have free trials for this as well. And yeah, we are looking forward to getting your feedback on this.
All right. Thanks, Klaus. Thanks, Merlin. That's super awesome. I've been waiting to learn more about all the things that you guys have developed. So thank you for taking time out of your day to share that with us.
Very cool stuff. If you've ever tried to build KPI cards like that, they take forever. So yeah, very, very awesome.
Yeah. All right. Next we have Rody Zakovich. Rody is going to present on TabCSS, letting us all know how we can all create impactful extensions in Tableau. He's the host of the Data Visualization Podcast and the Director of Solutions of Data Storytelling and Augmented Analytics. That is quite the title at HCL America. You can connect with him on Twitter at Rody Zakovich and on LinkedIn. So Rody, I'll pass it off to you, and thank you for sharing with us today.
Hello, everyone. Just want to note I'm actually not the host of the Data Visualization
Oh, you're
podcast. Not.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I wish I was. That being said, I just want to give another round of applause to Klaus and Merlin. That was awesome. I kind of feel like they rolled up to the valet in a Bentley, and I'm like scooting along in my '89 Ford Ranger right now. But I hope that's still okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I hope this works. Everybody seen my keynotes? Perfect. Okay, so everything about this demonstration is going to be very simple, and that's the point that I'll get to later. So I want to demonstrate an extension I wrote called TabCSS. If you're not familiar with it, basically it's a way that we can add stylized backgrounds to our Tableau dashboards without introducing, images and templates from other tools. So since I'm on a limited time frame, I'm just going to jump right into it. So right now, if we want to style our dashboards from the built-in Tableau options, we don't have a lot. We can change some inner and outer padding. We can change background colors. We can add things like borders, things like this. But outside of that, our options are pretty limited. So often we have to, style dashboards that fit company style guides. This might mean we have to have round borders, we might have to have drop shadows, we might have to use color gradients, things of this nature. So since this isn't built into Tableau, what do? Luckily, we're Tableau people. We're used to hacking this tool and figuring out solutions. If we have a problem, we figure out a way to do it. Just like Klaus with the super tables, like here's a problem, here's a really, really good solution on how to solve it. So how do we solve this traditionally? PowerPoint or Figma? Everybody loves Figma. I also love Figma. It's a great tool for mocking up prototypes and building these dashboards of how we're going to design and present it to our clients, whether internal or external. The problem, though, that we run into is both with Figma and with things like PowerPoint is often what we have to do is design the entire dashboard ahead of time or design the objects ahead of time, upload those as images to our Tableau dashboard, and then basically try to make Tableau fit that. Coming from a developer background, this to me feels like an anti-pattern. Rather than us using Tableau and just continuing in that flow to design dashboards in a way that we want, we're using another tool to design it and then basically forcing Tableau to fit into it. And then what ends up happening is, our internal customer says, well, can you make this a little bit shorter? Can you rearrange these objects? Or can you bring in another chart into your dashboard? And now, instead of just fixing those things in Tableau easily, now we have to go back into Figma, or we have to go back into PowerPoint, or whatever it is the tool we're using, recreate these images, reposition them, and it basically just extends our entire time to delivery, which nobody likes. And I'm sure anybody that's gone through this process like I have knows this is just not a fun time. So when I started out with this, I said to myself, okay, here we have a problem that needs to be solved, because right now our current solution is just adding way too much to our workflow. So I wanted to figure out a way to solve it, but I also wanted to figure out a way to solve it in such a way that I can inspire the community. That's a big thing for me, is through all the tips and tricks and everything else I've showed throughout the years, I always want to focus on the things that are easy or can inspire people to think that these complex things are not as complex as they seem if we just break it down. So I came up with TabCSS. So I'll just do a quick demo of basically how this works right now. So I have a very simple dashboard here, nothing too complicated about it, pretty simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag in an extension. It's going to pop up my extension gallery. I'm going to choose TabCSS. And this is a network enabled extension. So if your corporation or your client allows this, you can just use this right away. There's no communications to the outside world. So literally just loading some basic JavaScript and HTML, which I'll show in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my dashboard now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this into the top left corner. I'm going to set the X and Y position to 0. I'm going to set the width equal to my dashboard, and I'm going to set the height equal to my dashboard. Basically, this is just an overlay. Imagine this is I'm just putting a background onto my dashboard. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the float order. I'm going to send it to the back. So as you can see right now, essentially all I've done is dragged in an extension and put it as the backmost layer of my dashboard. So this is just sitting behind it. Now to use it, we're going to go ahead and style some objects. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually take the extension itself. And I'm going to rename the object here. And I'm going to add some CSS classes. I'm going to explain these in a little bit, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to type it in. So BG slate 600 and BG gradient, and hope I typed that right. So I'm going to press OK. And as you can see, now the background of my dashboard now has a gradient according to this color back here. So the next thing I'm going to do is, if I can reach it, just realize I don't know how to remove the zoom controls from the top of my screen. Caesar, anyone?
If you hit the ellipsis, there should be a button that says hide floating meeting controls, and then.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. So I'm going to go here to Format, Workbook. I'm going to change my color to like a lighter gray. Okay, this sounds good. I'm going to go into this object right here. I'm going to rename this, and I'm just going to add rounded and shadow. I'm going to press OK. Because this object is created later, I need to bring it up from the Z layer. So I'm just going to do Z2, press OK. And now we have that. I'll do the same here. Pipe delimiter, rounded, shadow, Z2. So as you can see, basically what's happening is I'm not actually doing anything with Tableau itself. All I'm doing is adding CSS classes that are manipulating the background of the dashboard. And what's happening is, from the end user point of view, this looks like we're changing the styles, but really we're just changing the background that's being displayed in front of us. And what's great about TabCSS is, as you're going through all of this and adding all of these different styles, it works with you. Everything is tied to the objects on the dashboard themselves. So if I were to go in here, for example, and they say, I don't like how wide this is, can you make it shorter? So if I said, okay, so if I did 300 width, you can see that automatically Tableau adjusts to this. So the TabCSS extension realizes this object has changed its width size, and it's automatically basically converted those styles for me. So what's really good about this is that if you get changes from your customers or your clients where you have to move around dashboards, or you have to move objects, you have to make things different sizes, you don't have to go and create new images in Figma or PowerPoint or wherever it may be. This just works around with it. And for me, this kind of fits more of the pattern of what we do in Tableau, where we discover data in Tableau, we find solutions, we design the dashboards, and then we just let these styles just accommodate what we're already doing. So in this regards, everything that's happening here, it seems really fancy, but really this is the whole point of why I wrote in this way. So things I could have done, I could have had a modal config that would pop up where you could upload your own custom CSS instead of using things like Bootstrap. I could have allowed people to use some kind of configuration modal that would allow them to apply these classes, to the objects directly instead of typing them into the objects names themselves in the dashboard. Could have created a template system. I could have done more and more and more. But what I realized is, for this to be successful, I needed to do two things. I needed to solve the problem, and I needed to do it as simple as possible. Because my goal from the beginning was always show how we can solve complex problems in an easy way. We don't always have to over-engineer. We don't have to use React or Vue or libraries. We don't have to have backend. We don't have to intimidate ourselves into thinking, I can't do this, because you can do this. And to show you this entire extension runs off of this code right here. So we use some external libraries like Bootstrap, but the entire thing is written on less than 60 lines of code, including comments. And this isn't even good code, but it shows that like this entire extension and everything that this is doing to solve this problem that we all face can be done in very minimal amount of work. So I'm hoping that this kind of shows that, you know, given a problem, if we just give ourselves just a little bit of time thinking about it creatively, we don't have to over-engineer it. We can just find a simple solution to implement it. And why didn't do this? You can do this too. And I have resources. Quick demo, quick demonstration, kind of going through this, but I want to kind of open this up, if it's okay, to anybody ask questions, if that's all right with everyone.
Feel free, yeah.
Perfect. How do I stop sharing my screen now?
Let's see, any question? I don't think there's any questions.
Sorry, hit the escape button.
Oh, yeah, I can just
and it'll come back up.
Thank you.
I don't think there's any questions in the chat. Does anyone have any questions for Rody or for Merlin and Klaus on anything that they presented? Wendy asked, can you share the resources slide, Rody?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Rody, I had a quick question about just being able to change some of the parameters for TabCSS of like background colors and such.
Yeah, so if anybody's familiar, you can go to tailwind.css. It's a library. I've actually implemented all of the colors there. So I think there's like 1,000+ different colors and different variants. All of those are supported within TabCSS, as well as all of the Bootstrap colors as well. So with it, if you go through the documentation, which I can share in the resources, I also have it in the open source library that's available to everyone. All the resources there, you can really customize this however you want. Gradients, morphism, any of those kind of things you want to do, you can do with this. Really all it is just we're creating a background that we're tying to Tableau and then allowing you to style things however you want.
I love that it also becomes really reactive too. When you start to, I've played around with it a bit, and when you start to change sizes, it just kind of follows everything along with it. So it's really cool.
Everything's reactive. And again, it's less than 60 lines of code to implement this. So if anyone is out there and you're like a Tableau developer, you don't have any coding experience, or maybe somebody has some code experience, but they're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, this, and I see all these really cool things. Don't start with that. Start with, you have a problem and think about ways how to solve it. Don't over-engineer the problem from the beginning. Don't go straight to how can I, put this in AWS and Kubernetes and auto scale it and all this other stuff. Just see a problem and start with that. Find a solution, and don't worry about if it seems dumb. Like I said, the code that I put out there, it isn't great code, but it works. And that's the whole point of why I put it out there.
Right, there's another question here from Victor saying, can the TabCSS be used with public?
I'm still working on that. Unfortunately, some of the contacts that I had are no longer with the company. So hopefully soon that will happen.
Gotcha, thanks. Any other questions out there for Rody, Merlin, or Klaus? All right.
Very cool. Awesome demos, and definitely items that will hopefully give you a lot more use case ideas and hopefully a way to actually go through and solve some of these a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, big thank you to Merlin, Klaus, and Roddy for joining us today for the DC Tug. Just a quick open announcement for everybody. If does anybody on the call have any job openings, or anybody on the call that's hiring that would like to share any of those positions, feel free to unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and let us know. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can always drop the link in the Slack channel, but it could be anywhere remote, but specifically in the DC area. If you have any job openings, or if your company is hiring for any roles, feel free to share those now with the group.
Or even any tips too, if you've got tips for anyone that you may know that might be searching, or even also they've got positions open. Feel free to share those as well.
Caesar, your job board still up on Tableau Public?
It totally is, and it refreshes every day.
There's two great resources on Caesar's Tableau Public page that have job openings based on its keywords, right, for authors and Tableau, that you can look at. It's 1,000, right? 1,000 job openings.
The newest 1,000 on Indeed, so it pretty much is just for US jobs that have Tableau in the keyword. But it's always interesting to see kind of who's hiring. So I'll put a link to that also in chat. So for anyone that may be looking or may not know they're looking, and just want to go through and see what's available, there's some really cool positions out there, and I think it's always been interesting to see just kind of what's out there and open. So I'll just throw that in chat. And this guy should be updating just about every day. I haven't checked today, so but it just goes through, updates automatically, and it's just those new 1,000 job positions. It looks like right now JP Morgan Chase.
Cool. All right, thanks, Caesar. I think Tim, you just shared a resource too.
Yeah. So hi, everyone, I'm Tim. I'm from the Veterans Advocacy Tug, and one of my co-leads, Chris, created it connects to USA Jobs, which for those that you don't know is all federal jobs, and it basically looks for keywords like I think data visualization, dashboard, Tableau. It is created with Power BI. I am sorry about that, but that is the way to connect to it. But I think it refreshes multiple times a day. So you can go in there and look for any jobs, and some of them are remote. But yeah, so feel free to look at that.
Awesome. All right. Moving right along then. So just to review, here's our meeting schedule for the year. We don't really have any specific topics or things planned around these future meetings. So, if there's content that you're interested in learning more about in Tableau, Tableau Prep, anything about Tableau Server or Tableau Public and connecting with the community, any of those things, please share that with us, and we can get some speakers and presentations around those topics. And again, we're always looking for people to host our in-person meeting. So if you're in the DC area and would like to host a future meeting, reach out to myself, Caesar, or Tina. We'd be happy to coordinate with that with you. And then again, if you have any speakers in mind that you would like to see or hear that you've met in the community, please refer them to us, and we're happy to pull them in for future meetings. That's all I have. So thanks for joining us for our February meeting for the Washington, DC Tableau user group. Join us follow us on the user group website, on LinkedIn and Twitter, just to stay connected with us and for future events and meetings. But that's all I have. This recording will be uploaded later by the Tableau team. And again, big thank you to Klaus, Merlin, and Roddy for presenting. It was really, really awesome stuff. That's all I got. We'll stick around for a little bit if anybody just wants to chat or has any questions, but other than that, enjoy your day, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks again.